City Council regular meeting to order at 6:32. Everyone is present at this time. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
All righty. All right, we have a presentation tonight of a proclamation and recognition for the 2025 high school graduates of Clear Lake Shores. And the Civic Club will also announce the 2025 graduate that's going to receive the scholarship awarded by the Civic Club. So, proclamation senior class 2025. Whereas May and June are recognized as high school graduation months, it is an opportunity for increasing education, acknowledging the adverse situations being presented to graduating seniors, and paving the way toward improving the quality of life for young people with a graduation diploma. And whereas families, friends, neighbors, and educators should encourage everyone to focus on the abilities of all young people and honor their hard work. And whereas the most effective way to increase this awareness of the value of education and to honor graduating seniors through everyone's active participation in the community activities and the openness to learn and acknowledge each individual's abilities, talents, contributions, and importance of education. And whereas we encourage all citizens to support opportunities for graduating seniors in our community that includes higher education, housing, employment, recreational activities. Now therefore, I, Randy Chronister, the mayor of the city of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, on behalf of the entire city council and the Clear Lake Shores residents, do hereby proclaim June 3rd, 2025 as 2025 Senior Graduates Recognition Day in the city of Clear Lake Shores. So I couldn't tell you, I don't know all of these people. I did reach out to everyone, so I couldn't tell you who all's here. I'm going to read all the names. If you're present, I'd like for you to come forward. Riley Dunnigan, is Riley here? Drake Housewright, Jaden Mayberry, Benjamin Murphy. Dominic Kleiza and Cole Zutek. Looks like you took all the prizes home, Ben. So we want to present you with this.
Benjamin Murphy.
Okay, so they're all together.
I put them in alphabetical order.
You did?
I did.
So from the bottom. All righty.
And then make sure you get the bag too.
All right, Council, you want to go take a picture with this young man? All right, moving on, we will move on to the Civic Club announcement for the recipient for the scholarship award.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Joanna Vincenti. I'm the treasurer of the Civic Club, and we would like to congratulate all the 2025 graduates. And would also like to present Benjamin Murphy with a $2,000 scholarship to Texas A&M.
Hey, that means you can pay for your dad's golf tomorrow. All right. Congratulations again, Benjamin. We will move on down to item number 4, the public hearing, annexation of Drawer Road into the city of Clear Lake Shores. I think if I'm not mistaken, this is the second public hearing for that. And was there anyone that would like to speak to the council about that annexation of that property?
State the time it opened, 6:38.
We'll open that hearing at 6:38. No one? Okay, we'll close that hearing at 6:39, and we will move on to the next item, reports from council. Councilman Ed Waters.
Yes, we're looking outside and we see all this beautiful weather, but we also see now we're in hurricane season, so we just want to make everybody aware. We need to be prepared because sometimes we get caught short and, we're standing in line at the grocery store with these other millions of people, and let's don't do that. So make sure you got plenty of water and canned goods and batteries and things, your necessities. And if you got a generator out there that you hadn't cranked up in a year, get out there and crank it up because it's not going to be good once that thing gets in the Gulf and you can't get anybody to work on it. So let's do that now. Be prepared.
All right. Thank you. Rick Fisher?
Nothing much on Parks Committee. Next meeting on them is going to be June 11th at 9 a.m. over at the pool. And looks like we'll be doing some repainting on the flip-flops. So anybody that wants to test out their artistic skills, come on over.
All right. Thank you, Rick. Jeff Terrell?
I have nothing to report this week.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Amanda Fenwick?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Okay, wow, that's down to me. All right, well, I'm going to thank Benjamin again for coming out and receiving his awards and moving on to Texas State. I had two of my boys graduated from there, and they loved it there, and they're doing well for themselves. There's a man sitting right behind you, Rick Birchfield, that's probably here so he can get you into a fraternity there. I will tell you that, because he's still hitting on my kids, even the ones that graduated. He's trying to get them back in there, so he's a good guy. Listen to him. I don't really have anything to report. We're still kind of waiting on the boat ramp. Haven't heard anything from that yet. Mike may have something to report. I think they're still working on getting engineers for the bridge up front. The one thing I am going to announce quickly is July 4th. We will be monitoring the traffic in the city of Clear Lake Shores again on July 4th. I know there were some people that didn't like that, but we will be doing that again. We need to keep the streets open for emergency vehicles. And once again, we don't know exactly what KEMA's going to do. I know Mike had a meeting over there. I have not spoke to him about that. He may want to speak about that when it's his turn to speak. But we will be doing that again this year to keep that traffic down to a minimum so our citizens can enjoy that event along with keeping the roads open and safe for emergency vehicles. That's really all I have. So we will move on to Police Chief David Donaldson.
Mayor, Council, the stats for the month of May. Traffic contacts, 347. Driving while intoxicated, 12. Narcotic-related offenses, 3. Accidents, 6. Total arrest, 43. That includes warrant arrests from other agencies that we've taken into custody. Disturbances, 1. Theft, 4. Assist other agency, 3. Residential checks, 108. Alarm calls, 3. Business checks, 450. And welfare checks, 2. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, David. I noticed that Jorge and Odie got a couple of the speed limit signs up, and they're working on a third one. Thanks for getting that going.
I have a question. On the residential and the business checks, so it was how many for residential, like 108? So each time you check on a house, like if you check on it 4 times in a day, that counts as 4. Okay, got it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, David. I noticed that Jorge and Odie got a couple of the speed limit signs up, and they're working on a third one. Thanks for getting that going.
I have a question. On the residential and the business checks, so it was how many for residential, like 108? So each time you check on a house, like if you check on it 4 times in a day, that counts as 4. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay, City Administrator Mike Cramp?
Thank you, Mayor. Christie, is this loud enough? Christie fussed at me because I was too demure in the microphone. Never really been called demure before, but I thought it was fitting. Galveston County notified us that they're going to terminate animal control services contract that we currently have at the end of September. They are working currently to prepare a revised contract. That contract will have some shared cost for maintenance and expansion of their existing animal shelter. Not really sure how that's going to work because we don't have a number yet. So I'm kind of in limbo waiting to see how that's going to work out. It's also going to factor in how much of a burden we are, how much we actually use the service. So we'll have some prorated factor based on our usage. And I'll be sure I share that information with you guys as we go forward. Shellmark sent us an agreement to complete for one of their subcontractors to take some boring samples of the boat ramp prior to construction. So we are still moving along. As I've mentioned before, we want to have it shovel ready by the time the grant comes through so that we can start as soon as possible. Jorge and Odie have installed 2 of the radar signs, as you mentioned. They will also be setting aside one day each week, at least, weather permitting, to start doing crack sealing in the roadways. If you recall, we purchased some equipment for them to start doing that in-house. That would save us about $40,000 a year. So carrying on with something the mayor mentioned about the 4th of July, Chief Donaldson and I did attend a meeting in Kemah today. It lasted for about an hour and a half or more. It was a good discourse. Unlike in some years past, we have been included in the process to a degree. We did share with them our frustrations in past years with egress routes coming through the city. We're pleased to see that that's not what they have planned. They will not be allowing vehicles on any of those streets right along 146 there to come westbound into Clear Lake Shores area. Everything's going to be funneled onto the major thoroughfares. Last year, using one of the apps that monitors cell phone data and tracks locations for cell phone data, they were able to discern that there were about 59,000 visitors for the 4th of July who were not either residents or employees in that area who visited. And that was not on a weekend. This is on a Friday. So they expect anywhere from 60 to 80,000 people to try to converge into Kemah. Obviously, we can't accommodate all those, but there will be a lot of police presence. There will be multiple jurisdictions. They're waiting on some TxDOT approval for some of the traffic, or all of the traffic plans, because they're all state roadways that they're looking at closing, or at least metering. But we will continue to work with them. We made some tweaks to it today when we got back after meeting with them, and we'll continue to talk with them. And then, as the councilman mentioned, hurricane season has begun. Check all your emergency equipment, make all those preparations, but one thing people forget to do is to review their insurance policies. And forget that you've got a cell phone, you can take a quick video of all your belongings. If you lose a lot of stuff and haven't had to struggle with insurance companies before, having video evidence of what you lost, the state it was in before and the state it's in after, is hugely beneficial. So I encourage everybody to take some time out and make a little thorough preparation before the hurricane season truly arrives. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Can I add on to that too? Make sure you signed up for alerts from the city. You can do that through the city website. There's many different ways you can receive alerts: text, phone, email. And so if we have to do an evacuation or updates or anything, the city activates that.
Yeah, I will say that Teresa and I talked about that. We need to do something to promote that. I mean, there's not that many people that are on it. And so there's a lot of people that don't know what we're putting out, and that's how we're putting it out during Beryl. We've got a lot of information out there, and there were some people that still had questions. And I mean, I was putting something out every 15 or 20 minutes, it felt like. So please if you don't do it on the website, get with Teresa, come to the city, get with the ladies at the city, do something to push yourself forward, because that's how we communicate. It's not going to be always on the Facebook page of, Island Paradise unless somebody shares it. So you're relying on some information that may never hit you unless somebody decides to share that. It's better if you get the text messages and you get things straight from the city, because we put a lot of information out. I know you weren't here back then, but you're going to work pretty hard during that time. Yes, sir. You mind going to the microphone so people can hear your question?
David Jones, 727 Pine. Do y'all put it on the sign right out here at the entrance as people come back into the island, just to remind them to get on it? Okay.
What was your answer, Mike? I didn't hear you. Yeah. Okay, thank you, David. Any other questions? Yes, Joanna?
The Civic Club has our membership drive on June 28th, and at Darwin we usually have our 4th of July burgers and dog party. And I was just thinking maybe somebody could be there with information. I don't know if there's a way to hand out information or give us information that we can hand out to people.
That's a good idea.
I'd be more than willing to help out with that.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments? All right. With that said, we'll move on to public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to the City Council if the topic of discussion is related to an item on the agenda. The comments may be made now or at the time the agenda item is discussed. If the topic of discussion is not related to an item on the agenda, the City Council cannot deliberate or take any action at this time. Comments from the public should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per individual, and there will be no yielding of time. Is there anyone that would like to address the City Council? Having none, we're going to close the public comments and move on to item 8, the consent agenda, items A, B, and C. Do we have any questions or any motions on those items?
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda,
I'll second.
got a second by Jeff. Is there any discussion on the items? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We will move down to item 9, new business, discussion and possible action may be taken on the following items. Item A, appoint a city council member to fill the vacancy left by the resignation of Councilman Alex Scanlon. So if I understand this right, we don't have to appoint somebody, but I think we should appoint somebody. I don't really want to be a mayor that has a vote, although we haven't had a lot of ties. We need to fill that seat, and we need the input of another person to balance out our council. So I understand at this time there has been someone that has someone to bring forward. So that's what this item is on the agenda about. So do we have any motions on item A?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Susan Baker to fill the vacancy left by the resignation of Councilman Alex Scanlon.
Okay.
I'll second that.
That you or him?
Me.
Okay. Got a motion by Amanda, got a second by Ed.
So I have a question though, Dick, because we don't have on the agenda to swear in whoever is appointed tonight. Do I need to make anything to my motion to say upon swearing in at the next council meeting, or do we just leave it as it is?
Well, I mean, it's clearly on there that you may appoint someone. If you do appoint them, I think it's also assumed that you would swear them in. So I think you can swear them in tonight.
Tonight?
If
Okay.
you do appoint someone, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any more discussion? Any questions? No?
You willing to do it, Susan? Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimous. Well, welcome Susan Baker to the City Council of Clear Lake Shores. So come on up, Susan. All right, Susan, welcome aboard. You do not have to vote on any of these items since you didn't get a packet and you don't know anything, unless there's something you know that I don't know, and you're welcome to vote. But you have the right to abstain on the rest of the evening, and welcome aboard. We'll move on to item B, review and approve list of surplus items for the city to place on bid auction site. City Administrator Mike Cram.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the things we struggle with is room. And we have a lot of stuff that we've been hanging on to for years and years around here some of it actually Mayor and Council have approved for us to auction off previously, and it's never been done. So the court clerks have undertaken a pretty good inventory of everything that we have that's surplus. You have a kind of a broad list there. And what we plan to do is offer it up in lots, not as individual items, but like the technology equipment that's out of date, not used, take pictures of it, place it online, take it as a lot, so that we can clear up some of the minimal storage space that we have around the city and not keep stuff we don't use. Some of it is bigger ticket stuff that's maintenance heavy, vehicles, that kind of thing, that some of them haven't been used in the year plus that I've been here. And so I can't imagine what the actual cost of maintaining those would be if we wanted to use them every day. And we don't. So it behooves us to not pay insurance on things and to get rid of the things that we don't use and put that money back in the budget if we can.
So where does that money go back in the budget?
It goes into revenue, but it's general fund, isn't it, Cheryl? The only thing that would be different from that would be police seizure items. Those don't go into general fund.
And that goes into a restricted fund, or does that?
That's a restricted fund.
Okay. I'll motion to approve the list of surplus items for the city to place on the bid auction site.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Amanda, got a second by Jeff. Any discussion from anyone on those items? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We will move on to item C, approve ordinance 2025-04, an ordinance adopting amendment number 1 to the approved budget of the city of Curl Lake Shores, Texas for the fiscal year 25, increasing the amounts in revenue and expenditure accounts of the general fund due to unforeseen situations containing findings, providing severability, and providing other details relating to thereto. City Administrator Mike Cram.
And I will defer to Cheryl.
This basically just cleans up the budget basically mid-year. It's a positive impact on the budget given that we increased sales tax by $100,000. So the overall effect of the budget is a positive $41,600. So it's just increasing. There was a lot of some of the things we didn't we're surprised, like replacing the subfloor in City Hall and replacing filling holes up in the ceiling, and so it's stuff we just didn't budget for because we didn't know. So that's all it is.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve 2025-04.
Okay, got a motion by Rick.
I'll second.
Got a second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to item D. Consider and take action to renew the general engineering services agreement with Collier's Engineering and Design, Inc. in the amount of $30,000. Mike Cram.
So just before I arrived at the city, council had approved a general engineering services agreement with Collier's. That is separate and apart from individual projects where they assist us on a particular street or a construction project or that type of thing. This is for general services. This is for all of our drainage plan inspections, all the things that are required of an engineer to do. Additionally, we had to go out for the SW4 again. It was time to renew that. Well, not only the annual the renewal, but to completely revitalize the plan. That's another, $14,000 that we had to have engineering services to contract for. So there are several miscellaneous things that are not associated with a specific public works type or engineering project that Colliers assists the city with because we don't have a city engineer. And this is just for those items.
Okay. All right. We have any motions on item D?
I'll make a motion we approve item D, consider and take action to renew the general engineering services agreement with Colliers Engineering.
Okay, got a motion by Jeff,
I'll second it.
a second by Rick. Any discussion?
So in our packet, Mike, was the agreement from December of 2023. Is that just for reference?
Yes,
Well,
that's
okay,
that's
so
the
basically-
one that we've been currently operating under.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Who's coming out of executive session? Having none,